Alright, so picture this. It's 2010. This company called Rovio is like, alright, I'm about to make a mobile game. Now, this was back in the time when mobile games used to be fun and not just filled with microtransactions and pop-up ads. Mobile games used to have a soul, okay? That's all you need to know. But anyway, Rovio decided to make this one game called Angry Birds, where the whole premise of the game is that you play as a bunch of birds, put them in a slingshot, fire them at a bunch of pigs, and destroy a bunch of crap. And that premise became widely successful and popular with young people in the early 2010s, myself included. I don't know, there was just something charming about throwing birds at pigs all day long. And then this one company called Lucasfilm, you may have heard of them, they made these really niche films called Star Wars or something. But anyways, in 2012, they were like, hey, that Angry Birds game is pretty neat. Can I be in it? And then Rovio was like, oh, heck yeah! So then they partnered forces and created possibly the greatest crossover of all time, Angry Birds Star Wars. And that game was even more crazy. Like, you already had Angry Birds, which is cool, and then you put Star Wars in it. Like, that's even better. Like, you get to play through like the iconic movies, only the original trilogy at the time. But 1 year later, in 2013, they were like, "Hey, that Angry Birds Star Wars game was pretty cool. Let's do it again." And so they decided to make Angry Birds Star Wars 2, which was the prequel trilogy this time, plus Star Wars Rebels, which was just coming out, like, a few months later. And the weird thing with Angry Birds Star Wars 2 is that they had this weird gimmick where, basically, you got these things called telepods, and you put the Angry Bird on top of it, like this, and then down here on the bottom, we can see this, like, magnifying glass, and we can see the QR code underneath the Angry Bird, and that is so that you can scan the QR code onto your camera on your iPhone or iPad and play as them in the game. It was this whole gimmick that a lot of games were doing back in the early 2010s. It was popularized by Skylanders, and then Disney Infinity jumped on it, and then we got Lego Dimensions, which that was also pretty cool, and then we had Nintendo Amiibo, which that is the only one that actually lasted more than like 3 years, because Toys to Life games, they were cool in concept, but in execution, it just kept getting way too expensive to try and keep track of all of the new merchandise that was coming out for these games, so they all got discontinued, but Amiibo was still around for some reason. Like, I guess that was the only one that was, like, somewhat successful. So anyway, I'm going to be looking at the figures from this line that I have, or at least all the ones that I still have, because a couple of them have been lost along the way, because I've had most of these things for at least 10 years now. Yeah, we're just going to look at most of the ones that I still have, and we're going to go in, like, rough timeline order, at least. So, first one we have up here is Qui-Gon Jinn Bird. I believe, like, most of them had, like, these weird pun names that were, like, bird-related. I do not remember what his name was. I'm pretty sure they just kept it at Qui-Gon. But yeah, here he is. And most of the Angry Birds or in the Star Wars games are, like, roughly based off of, like, another bird from the actual Angry Birds games, but I'm not entirely sure who Qui-Gon is supposed to be based off. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like a shrunk down version of Mighty Eagle, because he kind of looks similar. But anyways, we turn around, get like the sort of Qui-Gon like ponytail going on the back, and then looking at the front, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a lightsaber like on his belt. It's just the hilt, which that's kind of scummy. Like, you didn't have to put in effort to make the lightsaber hilt if you weren't even going to give him the actual lightsaber. Like, well, were they in the middle of like designing the figure on the production line, and they just forgot that he's supposed to have a lightsaber? So they just forget while they were doing that? Like, come on, guys, it's stupid. Idiots. Next one we get is Yoda Bird, which is might ironically be one of my favorite designs that they came up with, because it's not even like taking like an Angry Bird that we all know of. It's just Yoda, but with a beak, and it's honestly awesome. So yeah, he gets his tiny lightsaber. It's really funny, and then we just turn around, and we can see like his really receding hairline right there. Like, god damn, my dude, I feel bad. And then we get like a bit of his robes, which is kind of like going like back weirdly. Like, why is he doing that? That just looks really weird from the side. Like, what is going on with my dude? That was chopped. But yeah, and then he has like some wrinkles on his forehead. It's more of a 6 head if you ask me. Like, goddamn. Bro, such a tall head, I didn't realize that. Holy crap. I know Yoda's head ain't that big in the regular movies. Like, what the hell? And then next up we have Darth Maul Pig, which this might actually be my favorite one because I lied earlier when I said that Yoda was my favorite. This one is actually my favorite. Look at that. Double-sided lightsaber. That was absolutely crazy to 6-year-old me when I first watched The Phantom Menace. I'm like, wait, he has a lightsaber. And then another lightsaber. Like, that was crazy. Then he's got these horns on his head. You can see, like, some pig ears, which, like, are kind of weirdly off to the side on his head. Like, bro, what happened to you? But yeah. And, yeah, he's really, really cool. Yeah. And then, who else do I have here? Next up, we get one of the funniest looking ones. We get Palpatine Pig. This is just absolutely hilarious and goofy and silly because he just has like the King Pig's crown underneath the hood. Like, that is absolutely hilarious. like what is that doing there? And yeah, it's like his like the overall pig design looks very similar to Palpatine. Like, you know, he's got like a weird crooked like face thing going on from Revenge of the Sith when Samuel L. Jackson deflects the lightning back at him like an idiot. I'm calling Palpatine the idiot because he kept shooting the lightning as Mace Windu was deflecting it back at him. Like, why didn't you stop? You kept going, dumbass. But now the previous 4 figures that I just showed you were all from this Jedi and Sith pack, which was a pack of 6 figures. Like, you know, like 3 for each side, like 3 birds, 3 pigs. You get the gist, but unfortunately, 2 of the characters have unfortunately left us and have gone on to the great farm in the above. What? But yeah, so this pack came with Padawan Anakin from Attack of the Clones and General Grievous, which honestly, General Grievous going missing, I don't really care that much for Padawan Anakin, but like, you know, I was still pretty mad at that. But General Grievous, him going missing pissed me the hell off. Like, that was honestly one of my favorites in my collection. Like, top 3 is easily Yoda, Darth Maul, and Grievous. And Grievous is no longer with me. I unfortunately lost him in the great battle of Utapau. Obi-Wan said hello there and then sniped him out. So yeah. But another one that I do have here is Chewbacca Bird, who is taking heavy inspiration from Terrence from the original Angry Birds saga. Now, the only way that you could get this guy was by buying the Angry Birds Star Wars carrying case. It's Darth Vader's head, but as an Angry Bird. So yeah, that's pretty funny. And then down here, and like this section here, it's just the Angry Birds Star Wars logo, which is honestly really cool. Like, you know, they've got like the Angry Birds like part like of the logo right there. Then we have Star Wars at the bottom, and then it's like outlined, like bordering around the words. It honestly kind of reminds me of the Clone Wars logo. And then let's get a look inside. I'm not even going to explain what you just saw, but anyways, moving on to the next set of figures that we have, which actually came in one of the play sets, which is that Star Destroyer that you can see in the background that just got knocked over like not even 10 seconds ago. But I put it together with the magic of video editing. And now there's a plane flying outside my house. Thank you. Anyways, the next set that we have here, we're starting off with Padme Amidala. So, yeah, it's a pretty neat one. She's got this gun on the side, and I'm pretty sure this figure is supposed to be like a rough representation of her outfit from Attack of the Clones during like the Battle of Geonosis and stuff, and when like they're in the droid factory. So yeah, very nice. And so yeah, as you can see, like with the pink and everything, she's like a copy of Stella from regular Angry Birds. So there's our regular Angry Birds reference there. Next up we have Droideka Pig, who is objectively the funniest one because he doesn't even look like a pig at all. Like, if you took away the ears like on the top, you would not be able to tell that this is supposed to be an Angry Bird. Like, well, this is just a stupid design because like no changes were made to the actual Droideka. I guess to keep it recognizable as a Droideka, because I mean the design of the Droideka is already pretty good. So yeah. Now I just have to test if it can roll. Not really. That was terrible. Oh, not really. It doesn't really work that well. Anyways, who else do we have here? We have a Stormtrooper Pig. So yeah, this guy's pretty funny. He has a gun right there, like the classic E11 blaster right there. Pretty sure that's what it's called, if I can use my Star Wars brain for a little bit. But I noticed something pretty interesting about his design. He has one raised eyebrow, which not only raises his eyebrow, but raises a bunch of other questions. How does the helmet have the eyebrows? Like, is this a regular green pig wearing a Stormtrooper helmet? Or is the Stormtrooper helmet part of his flesh, and that's how there are eyebrows on the helmet? Like, come on, Rovio, we need answers. What's going on here? You need to explain, please. Next up, we have Captain Panaka, truly one of the most iconic Star Wars characters of all time. Who the hell is this guy? I don't know. Like, I think I vaguely remember him in the Phantom Menace. He was like one of the Naboo guards or whatever. But I only remember him from the Lego Star Wars game. That was his main contributing factor to the entire Star Wars canon. He was in a Lego game once. And then who else? Who else do we have here? We have Zam Weasel from Attack of the Clones. So yeah, pretty random as well. Although she was playable. She had this like weird grappling hook thing that basically ripped off Jar Jar Binks' gameplay. So yeah, I guess I don't know. And then what else do we have back here? We have another pretty funny one. We have a youngling bird. So it's honestly wild that we have a piece of merchandise of this guy, because you know we can recreate the scene of Master Skywalker. There are too many of them. What are we going to do? And then he freaking dies along with all the other ones. But he was a blue bird, and those guys in regular Angry Birds can like multiply. So why didn't they just use that against Anakin? Are they stupid? Next up we have this Star Destroyer set came with another Palpatine, so now I have two Palpatines. Oh, where'd the other one go? There he is. You know, when they said that the Sith worked in a rule of two, I don't think this is what they meant. Anyways, next up we have Darth Vader Pig. I like this one a lot. Like, look at that, he has a slingshot lightsaber. How does that work? I have no idea. But it's awesome, either way. Like, how do you even use that? Like, how does the Kyber Saber Crystal work? Kyber Saber Crystal? No, that's from Lego Star Wars The Freemaker Adventures. So shout out if you remember that show. That was peak. And then the final figure I have here is Return of the Jedi Luke. Now this is a pretty cool design, obviously taking the design of Red from Angry Birds games, and obviously just giving him a Luke skin over it. And fun fact, in the original Angry Birds Star Wars game, you played as Farm Boy Luke throughout like the entire story, but you had like a bunch of bonus missions where you had Luke on Dagobah, and the reward for completing those bonus missions was unlocking Return of the Jedi Luke, and that was unironically like the biggest life goal achievement of 5-year-old me, and that was like a core memory moment right there when I finally unlocked him. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And yeah, so that's all the figures from this set, but there was a Padawan, oh no, not Padawan, Pod Racer Anakin from the Phantom Menace, and I can't find him, and I can't be bothered finding him because like I got most of these other characters like out of a box that I just had like them sitting in for like a couple of years, but I couldn't find young Anakin, and honestly I don't really care to find him. So right now I've put all of the pigs on this Death Star, Star Destroyer that you can see in the background, and we have this slingshot over here, and so we're just going to test out playing Angry Birds IRL.
Right, I think I finally figured out the camera angle. So right now I just have Chewbacca on the slingshot, which you can't really see him, but hopefully you'll see him flying towards the Star Destroyer. So here's test one. Okay, we actually hit. Alright, I'm not entirely sure if the camera caught that last one, but Qui-Gon knocked out like pretty much the front structure of the ship. Like the top platform is basically gone. So yeah, next I'm gonna try out the triple move, because this slingshot can hold up to 3 characters, which I'm pretty sure this is the only slingshot that can do that. So let's just try out this one. Let's just give Qui-Gon another chance, because his quality won't end up in the final cut, because like my footage was a little bit weird. So let's just try that one again. Okay, I got him onto the Star Destroyer, but he needs to knock it up. Can't quite remember if Chewie already had a shot at this, but who cares? I'm gonna make him do it again. Let's go! Well, let's look at the damage. Alright, he's knocked over the top part. Now we just need him to knock down the rest of it. Actually, by looking at everything, pretty much all the pigs have been knocked over, and that's pretty much all the rules in Angry Birds. You need to kill at least every single pig. So, I call this a win. So, yeah, that was the video on Angry Birds Star Wars. Be sure to tell me what you think of it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.